And now, Mallory, it's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
If you got questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, anything you got, let us know in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Okay, as promised in the pre-show, this was back 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now more than 3 years ago. That's when the pandemic started. More than 3 years ago. Do you know that? That just seems
crazy to me. Like,
because
it's gone by so fast.
I'll just tell you that it is a really interesting it's a really interesting situation in my house because we had Hank around during that time. So watching him grow,
right.
You have a benchmark, but then also Max and Hank's birthday is 2 days apart, right? To be clear, 3 years and 2 days apart, or no, it's technically 2 years and 363 days, right? So, but right at 3 years.
Yeah.
So, right now, we have all these vivid memories of being at home with Hank, and Max is the exact same age that Hank was whenever we were home. Mm-hmm. Anyway, during the pandemic, I made friends down in Australia because Australian rules football was one of the last things to get canceled, and I was watching and I tweeted about it. And then suddenly they were starved for content, and so I was on an Australian sports talk radio show in the morning, morning drive in Melbourne, mm-hmm. And then the Sydney Swans reached out and they asked me to do some content for them, which basically
Sydney Swans,
the Bloods.
Okay.
They were up the Bloods guys. They asked me basically to record my reaction of watching apparently one of their most famous plays. They had a real big comeback. It's probably the equivalent. It would be probably the equivalent of watching the last Texas drive against USC in the 05-06 national championship game, and then reacting to it blind because I'd never seen it.
Right.
It was a nice comeback. It was a cool comeback, and I had a vague idea of what was going on,
uh-huh.
but they were oh, this is cool. Here's an American who kind of knows what's going on,
yeah.
reacting to our biggest moment. So I did that for them. It was social media content.
That's really cool.
All that's to say is I became a big Sydney Swans fan, and so I still keep up with them, on a very base level. I follow them on social media.
Yeah.
But what'll happen is that it will, because we were talking about weird times for time zones, mm-hmm. and games starting in other parts of the world. Almost all their games kick off at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. But what'll happen is that I'll wake up to go for a run. And then I'll get back from my run, and I'll be flipping through Twitter, and Twitter's dead at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh.
But except for I'm getting score updates from the Sydney Swans, and so I keep up with them, and I still get their notifications. It's not going great. They played in the Super Bowl last year. Their Super Bowl, the grand final.
And
last
to be
year.
clear, this is rugby, right?
It is Australian rules football. It is kind of
Australian rules football. Okay.
It is kind of like Calvin ball. It is kind of make up your own rules. But no, it is very cool, and it's kind of a combination of, I would say, rugby, soccer.
Okay.
It is really, it's a much more wide open rugby is kind of the way I would say.
Gotcha.
Because rugby can be a bit of a slog.
But
anyway,
rugby's tough.
Rugby's tough. But they're knocking the doo-doo out of each other. Anyway.
They really are.
shout out to the Sydney Swans. Love you boys. All right. Mallory, do we have any questions from the people?
Yes, we do. Okay. This one's really fun. In a zombie apocalypse, what 3 high school head football coaches do you want with you?
Okay, this is easy. Zombie apocalypse. 1, Bill Elliott from Salina.
Okay.
Jacked. He's the heavy. He's the muscle, right?
Okay.
I want him. I need a tactician, right? I need somebody who's going to be doing a lot of thinking for us.
Mm-hmm. Who? You know who?
Here we go.
You know who I'm taking in that stance? Okay. Scott Surratt.
Uh-huh.
Good thinker.
That's a good call.
Really good thinker.
Thoughtful.
Analytic.
Yeah,
exactly.
Scott He's going to find the hole in the defense, and
Correct.
he's going to exploit it.
Correct.
Right? So you've got the muscle in Bill Elliott. You've got the brains in Scott Surratt. And I think you need a wild card. You need somebody who just is willing to risk it all.
Marcus Shavers.
Do whatever. Marcus
Shavers
is a really good combo platter of all that because he's also a big dude, and so he could be helpful in that.
Just like a bodyguard,
but he's also just
through.
wild enough that he could get it done. Like
Yep.
there's a little crazy guy in a fight in Marcus Shavers. And so yeah, I think that's my trio: Bill Elliott, Scott Surratt, and Marcus Shavers, with an honorable mention.
Maybe like a hunter or something, for like food resources.
Yeah, you do. Like there's a lot of it, because here's what's concerning to me about that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have like a real live country boy in that mix. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like there would be a real advantage to getting like just a dude who's got a deer lease and it's just like out there like working.
Right.
So like, but those are
like
those are.
I'm
thinking big picture skills. I'm thinking like soft skills instead of like hard skills. So I'm gonna say those are my trio. There you go.
That's a big group.
I'm feeling good.
That's a clutch.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about surviving.
I think so too. All right, let's go with who are some 6A schools not from Dallas, Houston, or Austin that you could see winning a state title in the next 10 years or so?
A 6A state championship, right?
Yes,
So
it says 6A schools. Yeah.
You'll be happy to know I got a report from my wife, who's home with the boys. Max, who's our 1.5-year-old, is reading a copy of Texas Monthly and just looking for pictures of horses. So, support print media.
That's cute.
We just need more. We just need more pictures of horses in our magazine, and like skyrocket. You know what I mean?
We need one in the
Dave Campbell's
in the
for
summer
kids.
edition. Yeah.
Dave Campbell's for kids.
There's a market there. There's a market.
$1 billion idea. Okay, 6A program not from basically a major
metroplex.
So he said, "Now time out. It was DFW, Houston, or Austin."
Austin, yes. So
San Antonio
is
counts?
still on the plate, I guess.
Cibolo Steele, I think, is a great chance. I think
Yeah.
San Antonio, Brennan. I'm bullish on what Reagan is building down there in San Antonio. I could go with a team like that. Boy, I mean, you're just really. I mean, there's always those teams from Central Texas, right? That like Temple or Harker Heights.
Temple's a good one, yeah.
Has an opportunity, I think, to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I am less bullish on the teams out west, bullish on El Paso teams and teams in the Little Southwest Conference, simply because I don't think the demographic shifts and I don't think that the population shifts have favored them in that regard. So I would say you would look to. Those would be the teams. The other option would be, I guess one of the issues.
Most of the 6A schools are in those major metropolitan
the question is, it's like, all right, like who from East Texas is 6A? Like Tyler Legacy.
Yeah.
Well, like they're kind of down right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would say from a 6A perspective, you're really limiting yourself. So the easy answer would be the best team in San Antonio.
Down in the RGV, I mean.
Cibolo Steele, maybe Judson puts it all together again. But I would say, yeah, I just don't think – I think the Rio Grande Valley, the problem for them is that they're going to run into those Austin teams.
Exactly.
And they have just – now, San Antonio has not been able to get past those Austin teams, right? But most – like when the Rio Grande Valley teams have gone up against them, it just has not been – it's just – they've gotten drubbed. Like, for example, like San Benito. Okay. San Benito and Harlingen were, in my opinion, the two best teams from the Valley in 6A last year, right?
Yes.
They met. They got to Valley Week, third round of the playoffs, the regional semifinals. Harlingen lost to Dripping Springs 45-0, and San Benito lost to Westlake 44-7. That gap is wide right now. That gap is real wide. So it would probably be a team like from San Antonio, but then again, Brennan got beat by 40 by Westlake, right, in the regional final. So that's the issue.
That's just the issue.
Right
They're
now,
running into
those gaps between the major metro areas and specifically between DFW, Houston, and Austin and everyone else is just really wide. Because the same thing goes with now the closest we came to would be like Midland Legacy. Midland Legacy last year played Keller, who was a good team from DFW, the 10-win team. They played them close, 23-21, but like Keller then went and they got beat by 40 by Louisville, right? So that, again, I'm not trying to downplay it, but right now there's very clear power centers in 6A.
Yeah.
And they're around major metro areas.
Right.
So I'm not trying to be a defeatist. I'm just trying to be
a realist.
An honest arbiter of what's going on.
Right.
I don't want to blow smoke. everyone's got a shot, and everyone could have that special group that comes through and makes that run. But right now, it's just hard to see because those gaps are really wide right now.
Right.
So
Right.
there's a long answer to a short question.
Correct.
For a special answer.
Let's go with, will you guys ever go to the TASO state convention? And this was asked by our very own Aaron Arbuckle, who we saw at State 7-on-7.
So Texas Association of Sports Officials, which, by the way, go to taso.org, I believe, is where you can sign up to be an official and help out. We've talked about on this show many times about how there's an official shortage, which, in my opinion, is an existential threat to the sport. An existential threat to extracurricular activities and extracurricular sports, interscholastic sports in Texas. So go to taso.org and sign up, or encourage a friend to sign up, or encourage a young man or woman in your life to sign up, or just be nice to officials. We can have that. All that is to say, as far as the TASO convention, it's their annual meeting. They have it. I believe it's in Dallas. It's in a couple of weeks. The issue is, here's the short answer, probably not.
Yeah.
Here's the long answer. The reason why probably not is that there's just not a whole lot there for us. It serves a much different purpose than the THSCA coaching school. THSCA coaching school is an opportunity for us to be around a lot of coaches and gather content, right? That's what we're doing. TASO, that is basically like, it's fun. I imagine they have a good time. I know there's like a poker night and stuff like that.
Oh,
but like
fun.
it's a meeting is what it is. It's
not necessarily a convention.
It's not a convention,
really.
it's a meeting.
Right.
And it's like they're getting together, they're talking about rule changes, they're talking about like they want to do there are classes, I believe, on like how to improve and become a better official and things like that. That's great. But like from a content gathering perspective, there's just not a whole lot of like juice in that squeeze.
Yes.
For us. And so what I'd rather do, and we're probably overdue for it, is to have somebody like Bill Theodore from TASO come in, and like we can just do like a state of officiating like roundtable. We've done that a couple of times over the course of Texas Football Today history, and we're probably overdue for it. So yeah, I think we should probably do that. So anyway, that's my thought.
I like that.
So sorry, the answer is probably no, but I hope you understand our reasoning.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's next?
Who is a school without a title who might get one in the next few years? So let's go.
So
Any classification.
So we're talking first-time state champions.
Yes.
Right? First-time state champions. And we had a couple last year. Hawley was a first-time state champion. There's another. Albany. No, Albany has a title, but before the Denny Faith era. DeSoto had a title.
I'm trying to think back on who the state
had a title.
champions were.
I'm running.
Feels like so long ago.
It was forever ago. And then we have Benjamin. Benjamin was a state champion first time. Okay. Teams that do not have a state championship that could get them the next couple of years. I think Vandegrift really is on the cusp.
Yeah.
Last year, obviously, they're running the state championship game. Did not finish the way that they wanted to, but I think they're really on the cusp. That's a team that I think keep an eye on. They're going through a coaching change. Well, here's a couple. Both within Region 2 of 5A Division 1. And Region 2 of 5A Division 1 is tough, but both Lancaster and Mansfield Timberview, I think, have an opportunity.
Timberview was dang good last year.
They really were. Now, Timberview will have a new coach.
Right.
And that's troubling. But I think they've got an opportunity to continue what they've done because they've been very good. I'm bullish on, like, Fulshire. I think from a new program perspective, I think they've got an opportunity to really make some noise.
Step said Timpson.
Timpson is
really
a big threat this year. They've never won a title, and they're going to be a threat this year, most certainly, to win a title.
Has Silsby won a title before?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think they were pretty young last year. I think they were just a year short of it.
Silsby's
but with Draylen Miller's final year as a senior this year.
Yeah, Silsby's going to have an opportunity to make some noise. I think they've got it. I think, not to spoil the magazine, but like, I don't think Harmony was a flash in the pan. And if you wanna hop on board that bandwagon, I think they've got an opportunity to at least play for a state championship. And then I'll throw. I want to say they don't have one. Yeah, I'll throw one more out there, and it's a little bit off the board. A team that we are very bullish on this year is New Home.
Yes, we
In
were
2A
kind of
Division
high on
2.
them last. Well, they
were state
they were
semifinalists
surprised
last year. State semifinalists. They won Region 1. They ran Albany in the state semifinal, but New Home is a program that I think has a lot of those hallmarks of a rising power out there in West Texas.
Right.
So keep an eye on them. That's a handful of teams that I think have a title that I think have an opportunity to make some noise.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do we have 2 more, or do we have 1 more? Those are your options. We don't have time for 3 more.
Let's do one more, and we'll end it with a good one. If you weren't doing this job, what other job would you be doing?
Digging ditches.
Digging ditches.
I have no other skills. This is it. This is it.
That's what I've always said. I'm like, I went to school for broadcast. I don't have any other skills.
I have the stupidest degree. I have a degree in newspaper journalism.
Right.
What am I going to do with that?
Right.
What I'm going to do, we were talking about the zombie apocalypse earlier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to light it on fire for warmth. Like, what am I going to do? I don't know. I'd probably find. I'm pretty good, and I think you'll vouch for this. I'm pretty good at talking to people.
Yes.
And
You talk a
so
lot.
I would probably find a way to do a job where I can just talk to people.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'd do.
Okay.
And I think that is a soft skill that is transferable to other areas. That's probably what I'd be doing.
It's a tough question.
Yeah. I think I know what you'd be doing. F1 driver. You're like a race car driver.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Are
You know what I really want to do?
What?
I really want to be an influencer on TikTok that gets paid to travel places.
Well, everyone wants to do that.
Well, I want to do it more.
Okay.
But realistically, if you're looking at me, knowing who I am, realistically, where do you see me if I was not at this job?
That's a good
Not in
question.
broadcast.
Not in broadcasting. So let's just remove you from media, right?
Yes, no media, no sports, nothing. Well, sports, okay, maybe keep sports in there, but like no media.
That's tough because I don't know.
I could see myself being a cheer coach for like a high school.
See, that's so funny because I was going almost completely different.
Okay.
And I was saying I could see you working in like an engineering sector. And here's what I mean.
Okay.
Here's what I mean. One of the things that you and Pickle do very well is take a set of things, organize them in a way, and attack them in the most efficient way possible.
Okay.
I'm thinking, again, this is like third time I'm saying this on this podcast, which is weird, but like soft skills. Those are the types of things that you do that I think are transferable to other things. You're good at that. You're good at gathering a lot of different information, sorting it, like sorting it, narrowing it down,
where it makes sense,
putting it in order, and then attacking that. And so I think from like an engineering perspective or like something like that where you're getting your job is to organize and find efficiencies within those types of things. I think that's something you could do. Like my brother's a civil engineer.
Okay.
And so not civil engineer. He's an engineer and he works for a company that and he works on like efficiencies. I could see you doing something like that. You and people because you're
be good at that.
Your brains are wired in that way.
Right. I like that. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
So I'll take that answer.
Yeah. I might work, I don't know. I might work in like a.
Would you be a politician?
No.
Because you talk a lot. That's what Aaron Arbuckle said.
No.
So Tepper would be a politician.
My political stances would disqualify me.
I just hate politics.
My political stances we don't need to get into politics, but I don't fall into one category. I'm not I'm hard to put in a bucket.
Right.
And so that's not attractive.
That would not be it. Right.
That's not attractive to politics.
True.
Free thinking is not politics, and thinking with nuance is not
For sure.
conducive to politics. I would honestly, and this is something I've thought about over the years, I might go work for a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Definitely.
Because I don't know, we don't need to get into that, but I don't know, I'm passionate about helping people.
Definitely.
I think I like making a difference. So anyway, there's that.
I like that.